The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. It's 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
And we begin with our coverage on the conflict in Israel. And new video just released this morning shows Israeli warplanes pounding downtown Gaza with relentless bombardments. This video being released just moments ago. We now know at least 900 Israelis have been killed, and we know at least 11 Americans are among the dead. The Israeli Prime Minister is vowing to end the terrorist group, while the U.S. has begun sending military assistance to the Middle East. In Washington, House members are returning to work of electing a new speaker to be ready to direct more money to help Israel. NBC's Alice Barr has more.
Today in Israel, a mounting death toll, a growing hostage crisis, and a military mobilization for a potential all-out invasion of the Gaza Strip, with Israel's prime minister saying airstrikes in Gaza are just the beginning.
We
just started to hit the Hamas.
Some Americans flying to Israel to join the fight. This woman said goodbye to her brother.
He wants to be there to support everybody. We want to be there too, but it's terrifying.
The number of Americans killed is growing, among the hundreds dead in the massive terror attack carried out by the Palestinian militant group Hamas. President Biden preparing to address the crisis from a White House lit up in Israel's blue and white. The administration acknowledging Americans may be among the hostages.
We're going to do everything we can do to get them home safe with their families where they belong.
The president directing hostage recovery experts to help Israel and sending the U.S. Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier to the Israeli coast to deter further attacks, even as federal law enforcement monitor for any domestic threats here in the U.S. For Americans living in Israel, scenes of horror playing out. Abby On says members of her family are missing after texting her that terrorists were inside their home.
It's hard to close your eyes at night.
U.S. officials promising not to look away from the devastation striking one of this country's closest allies. Amid urgent calls for more aid, House members are returning to Washington today as Republicans scramble to pick a new speaker, something that has to happen before more money can be directed to Israel's fight. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Meantime, several landmarks across the country are paying tribute to the victims of those terrorist attacks. Here in California, the Capitol building was lit up overnight in white and blue, the colors of Israel's flag. A prayer service was also held last night at a temple in Sacramento.
Here at home, there will be a vigil at Temple Bethel to pray for the lives lost and share resources with ways to help. It's all happening tonight in Northeast Bakersfield on Loma Linda Drive, I should say, and it's starting at 7 p.m.
Meantime, Bakersfield Mayor Karen Go is also weighing in, saying her thoughts and prayers go out to those impacted.
I join our brothers and sisters who grieve at the pain and tragic loss of life caused by the Hamas attack and the provocation of war. My thoughts and prayers go out to all impacted. I'm grateful for the deep bond between the United States and Israel. I stand resolutely with Israel against terrorism. Let us together pray for peace.
And the war in Israel is not just a conflict that's happening half a world away. For the local Jewish community in Bakersfield, this is an unprecedented attack felt by all right here at home. 17's Michaela Armstrong has that part of our coverage.
In the wake of the tragedy ensuing thousands of miles away in Israel, many here at home are also feeling the pain.
I am completely broken. Understand that this is not a far-off event. This is an event that is close to home and close to the heart of every single Jewish person and civilized human being in the world.
The devastating and surprising attack happened on a major Jewish holiday Saturday, leaving hundreds dead in Israel. Avidal Anders was celebrating the holiday and found out the news on social media from friends in Israel and has relied on that to check on them during this time.
Thankfully, with social media, with the information comes really quick. So the people that I personally know are all okay. Doesn't take away the tremendous, grave concern and just despair for the people that were killed, that were hurt, and particularly the hostages. It just kind of reminds us how difficult it is to be Jewish, because here we are celebrating our tradition, just being happy being us, and then we are finding that our brothers and sisters are getting killed for being us. It's like, here we go again.
Anders says the latest attack hit close to home as they came 50 years and a day to the Yom Kippur War, a war Anders witnessed when she was a kid in Israel, bringing up the pain her people have endured.
That was a surprise, and that exacted an incredible toll, and it was like, well, this will never happen again. And here we are.
Now it is about coming together as a community and remaining in prayer during this time.
Jewish nation started as one people, and today we are one people, no matter our differences, no matter who we are.
And I know that Israel will take care of it. I mean, I know we're going to persevere, and I know it's going to work out. Nothing is okay, but it's going to resolve itself in such a way that Israel will be safer and certainly safe again. But it's really painful.
Michaela Armstrong, 17 News.
The writers' strike in Hollywood is officially over. The contract ending the 4-month strike was ratified yesterday by WGA members. 99% voted in support of the contract. Most were satisfied with the gains they achieved that were once considered unlikely. Success-based residuals from streaming platforms and regulation on the use of AI material, just to name a few. Meanwhile, negotiations are ongoing in the SAG-AFTRA strike, with many hoping for a breakthrough this week.
And investigators this morning are trying to figure out what led up to the death of a teenager at Jastro Park. Officers say they were called out to the park on Saturday afternoon for a report of a 16-year-old girl suffering a medical emergency. The teen was rushed to a hospital where she later died. Her name has not been released. Police say foul play is not suspected at this time, and there are no indications of drug use in this case.
Now to our 17 follow-up file, and the coroner has released the cause of death for a man whose body was found in a canal along Truxton Avenue near Jastro Park. The body of 39-year-old Troy Anthony Felix was found back in July. The coroner announced yesterday Felix's cause of death was drowning, the manner undetermined.
A Kern County jury is tasked with deciding whether the man known as the pillowcase rapist, Ronald Feldmeyer, willfully failed to register as a sex offender when he changed his address, or if he purported memory issues to blame. Feldmeyer was released in 2019. He served more than 3 decades in prison for sexually assaulting multiple women in Sacramento. Closing arguments wrapped up yesterday. In a separate case, Feldmeyer faces kidnapping charges. Court documents say he admitted to picking up a woman back in June, but denied holding her against her will.
The Bakersfield City Council is set to discuss a resolution declaring any future COVID-19 mandates as unenforceable. Councilmember Ken Weir introduced the resolution, which describes mandates as injustices in the form of overreaching government. It says, quote, unquantifiable damage was done to Bakersfield when mandates were implemented during the height of the pandemic. However, Councilmember Eric Arias says the policy is a distraction from other challenges like homelessness and public safety. The City Council will discuss the resolution tomorrow.
5:34 is your time now, and it is Fire Prevention Week. And the Bakersfield Fire Department is all hands on deck. The Sound the Alarm event kicked off yesterday, and firefighters are making sure you're protected. This is why they're offering free smoke alarms this week. In the U.S., there are around 11,000 fires at homes every year. And 3 out of every 5 deadly fires are due to the fact that a home did not have a working smoke detector. Each season has different hazards. As we start to approach cold weather and Christmas decorations, keep that in mind. Heaters, candles, and extension cords can also pose a fire threat in our homes. which is why firefighters say it is important to act right now.
Every bedroom should have a smoke detector, hallways, living areas, anything that can be occupied. At least every 6 months, hit the test button, but also change your batteries. If you're not changing your batteries every 6 months or testing it, then you don't know if your smoke detector is working.
So remember, if your smoke detector is beeping, it is because it needs a battery change. Don't just unhook it and then throw it on the counter.
Well, because you know when those usually go off is in the middle of the night.
Right, exactly.
So you may do that in a moment of desperation, but you really need to get it fixed and get a fresh battery in it.
Don't delay. And unfortunately, we know we have seen deadly fires here in Kern County and in Bakersfield, and it's because there was not a working smoke alarm. So just this little device can save your life, your family's life. Don't delay. So again, this event is happening the rest of the week. All you have to do is fill out a request online through the link that you just saw on your screen. We have this also on our website, and you can also schedule to pick up that smoke detector. So please do not delay and make sure that if your smoke detector is not working.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.